recommend to do this time around for at least the next 8 weeks?
Cut.
We're leaning out.
Lean.
Okay. So rows. Going to lean out. All right, I know we've been here before, so let's get into a little bit more details.
Mm-hmm.
What does that mean? Like, what are we going to have to invest in and work on when it comes to leaning out?
Eating, clean eating.
Okay.
Cleaning.
Yeah. Eating. Cleaner. What else?
Drinking more water.
More water. What else?
Getting back, discipline, I guess.
As far as
all of that, the eating, making sure that I'm
gonna put disciplined mindset.
There you go.
Because that is a big one. That's a huge one, actually.
Yeah.
What else? There's one more big one that you're really missing. So we got the eating, we got the more water, but there's really a big one. It's a recovery one.
Protein.
Protein's one. So we can get a little bit more into specifics when it goes to eating clean.
Oh, and macros, right? That's part of like the whole
protein. Yup, macros. But there's another one that you're missing. Has nothing to do with eating.
Yeah.
Give you a hint. You do this at nighttime.
Pray?
Praying is a good one for stress. Yes.
Sleeping, resting.
Yes, sleeping.
I'm not sleeping well either. Lately.
That is a huge one because this is the only time that our body gets the time to actually just recover and do absolutely nothing. So that's a huge one. You can actually put on weight if you're not getting enough good quality of sleep. Okay, I'm not a big stiffler for you getting 8 hours of sleep, but focus on the quality of sleep.
6.
Yeah, so we're going to put quality. Yeah, I was looking at your orientation from last time. You had that too. You had like 6.5 was your average. Okay. So let's also talk about working out. That's a big one. Working out and active recovery. So I don't like to use rest days anymore. I like to use active recovery.
Okay.
Because to me, I feel like rest day sounds like, oh, today's the day I just get to do nothing.
Yeah.
And that's not the case. Especially in the cutting phase, I want to keep you guys moving. So I use active recovery now as a way to say, yeah, we're not particularly working out, but I want you to focus on getting your steps in, maybe even stretching, following some type of regimen. Like it doesn't have to be super long. It doesn't have to be, like I said, an actual workout. It's just getting steps in, just going, walking outside, starting to get nice out, thank God. But, just focusing on just being active. So what I learned is that we burn a day 15% of our total calories from just being active. That doesn't, workouts like 5%. Okay, so working out is about 5% of your total calories versus just getting your steps in is 15. So, what do you think is more important?
Yeah, steps.
Getting your steps in, just staying active. 5 versus 15.
Now that I'm not working at that place, I'm not doing the steps and I'm not like walking around throughout the whole evening, So that definitely has made an impact.
So here, I want to get into a little bit of a breakdown. So I'm going to challenge you starting out to get 5,000 steps a day.
Okay.
Or that'd be what, 35,000 steps a week. So the reason why I'm putting it like this is because we don't know what's going to happen throughout the week. Everything's not usually ideal. So maybe there's one day where it's like, hey, I got a lot of time today. I'm going to go for a walk. And it's kind of like a savings. Like, I don't know what's going to happen this week. There may be a day or like on a Sunday where you're a little bit more lazier. Like, I'm going to go extra 3,000 steps today, so that way on Sunday I only need to get like 2,000 steps compared to the 5,000. So that's why I give these two options. We're either going to try to get 5,000 steps a day, or we're just going to try to get a total of 35,000 for the week. That's 5,000 for day. Does that make sense? Okay, so that way we have something to strive for. And again, it takes an accountability. Something happens, I can't go for a walk today, or I'm not getting my steps in today, or I'm just feeling bad today. It's like, I'm going to make it up another day. Just my goal would be to get that 35,000 for the whole week. Okay. protein and macros, we will work on those. I would like to see, so for you personally, let's see, what was our body fat percentage? I think it was like 38, right?
0.5 or something.
30. Okay, we'll just say it was 38.5%. All right, I'm gonna challenge you by next weigh-in. Well, next month's weigh-in. Let's try to get to 37.5%
Okay.
body fat. Okay. All right. So to hold you accountable, I spelled that wrong. Accountable. We're going to measure every single week.
Okay.
So the last session, so like we're doing tomorrow. We're not going to do it tomorrow, obviously, because we did it today.
Right.
But next week, the last session of next week, we're going to measure you again. We're going to measure your waist, and we're going to measure your body fat percentage. Okay? So that way we can tell her, hey, Rose, what's going on? Why did we go up this week? What'd you do this week? You not been on it? Measurements every last session. Okay. Is there anything else you want to add into there? So I can work out your protein, your macros for you. Not right now because I'm going to have to use my phone and the calculator and all that stuff. But I'll definitely get to that for you. But is there anything else that you would like to see added to this list?
No, I think that's a great start, actually.
This is a huge one.
Yeah.
Do you feel like this is doable?
I do. And I think that my sleep quality is going to get better now that I'm back.
Okay.
So, because I haven't really slept well.
Okay.
And I know that all of that brings down my stress level, and
yes,
my mind has been kind of like running.
I got you. I like to start out with at least 3 training sessions. So me and you are going to do 2 for sure. If I can fit you in a third one, I don't mind fitting you in a third one, but I'm going to try to do 2 with you for sure. But I might need you to do, I am going to need you to do at least 1 more on your own. Okay? I'll send it to you on Trainerize.
Okay.
Per week. Okay. Any questions on that?
Mm-mm.
Okay. Most important thing. So, this is why I asked you, because I'm going to give you this folder. I'll actually fill this out for you right now, pertaining to yesterday. Mm-hmm. Actually, we'll start with just overall. So, Rose, if you could say the last 2 weeks on a scale of 1 to 10, 10 being very high energy, 1 being very low energy, what would you give your overall energy the past 2 weeks, if you were honest?
4.
4, so bad.
Last week I was really sick. I had a bug, some type of stomach bug, so I was done.
Someone put sick.
Yeah.
Okay. What about your mood? Same thing. Mm-hmm. 1 is being really, really bad. 10's being like great. It was in a great mood.
I've been probably like a 4.
Like a 4 too.
Yeah.
Is it just because of being sick?
Everything kind of like just a
sick
collective.
School.
Yeah.
Okay. What would you give your sleep quality? So 10's being great sleep, 1's being really bad sleep.
A 5.
Like a 5.
Yeah. Okay. I'm not rested when I'm waking up.
Not feeling rested. Okay. What would you give your overall stress the past 2 weeks? 10's really high, 1's low. Honestly, this is probably the hardest one to gauge. I think we're not honest with ourselves.
I feel like it's maybe an 8 because I feel like anxiety, like I'm getting this for no apparent necessarily reason of having anxiety, but it's something that I do deal with.
Okay.
So the stress has kind of been up, and I think because I'm in a place where I can't really move much, and there's not much I can really do, so it causes me to stress.
Okay.
Not having a routine and.
This one might be hard to gauge because you haven't been working out, but I guess overall, how would you say, have you been feeling strong? And if so, 10's really strong and 1's kind of weak. I've been feeling weak, strength wise.
When I was sick, I was feeling very weak, but I don't necessarily feel weak. I can feel that I'm getting weaker.
Okay.
So but I'd say I'm a 7.
Like a
I'd
7?
I'd say maybe a 7 because I don't feel very weak in the sense not being able to pick something up or move around. But
so we can gauge that better when you're actually working out. Hydration. past 2 weeks?
I
What
feel
would you
like
give
I've
it?
been dehydrated.
So what would you say 1 to 10? One's like really
4.
dehydrated, like a 4. Okay. And then the last one's hunger and cravings. So how hungry have you been and how much cravings have you been craving? Like sweets, processed
Salt,
foods?
like I've been craving, like I have craved it, not
Uh-huh.
necessarily wanting or being hungry,
Yeah,
but like just sitting and like watching TV and snacking.
yeah. Okay, so let's
So
start with hunger first. What would you give that 1 to 10? 10 starving, one's like, haven't really been that hungry.
I really haven't had too much of an appetite, so I'd say maybe I'd say 4.
Like a 4. Okay, what about the cravings part?
Oh, I think for women it's so different because we're like, we're at certain time it's just like you want to
Oh, for
craving
sure.
like a salty thing. My thing is like salt crunch, like chips, but sweet it will be maybe some candy or maybe I don't know. I'm not like a big cakes and
Okay,
cookies type person,
okay.
but
If you can give me
definitely
a
will
number.
praise
In the past 2 weeks, 10's like super high cravings. It doesn't have to just be sweets. It can just be like
7,
everything you're saying,
like
like a
7.
7. Okay. Any pains or discomforts going on in your body, like in your joints? Any like
Um,
anything that you noticed
that weird thing. Remember, I just told you like it's a weird
in your
thing
shoulder?
here. But I mean, I think it's more or less like tension and stuff like stress in the shoulders and
Specifically in your right shoulder?
yeah, that one like by the collarbone. I don't know how to explain it,
Yeah.
but nothing has changed since.
How's the knee been?
Not too bad. It does its thing where it's aching. Um, I know like if I'm on the treadmill and like I try to do a nice incline,
Okay.
but if sometimes it's too much and then I like it ache. But
Okay.
it's something I've lived with.
Okay.
So the more that I know, the more that I lose and the stronger that I get, it won't be as bad. So.
Okay. Super personal question, Rosie. Do you still have your cycle?
So due to a procedure I had, not like it used to be. So I'm not menopaused yet.
Okay, so you were
Perimenopause. Yeah.
And that's in the sense that it kind of like it doesn't happen routinely; it just kind of happens
Still have.
sporadically.
Well, what it is that so I had an issue where like the lining of like my uterus and things were thick, and so it caused like bad heavy bleeding and blood clots.
Okay.
So what they do is go in and laser that out and clean it up.
Okay.
But then it affects your productive, like so it's not. I don't get a period all the time,
Okay.
and now I think in the last I had it maybe about 4 years ago. So in the last year I've started getting symptoms of like more irritability, a little bit of cramping and bloating and things like that.
Okay.
So it's just kind of like iffy. It's not necessarily like a regular. So I think it kind of put me into.
Okay. So you might not particularly have the actual process, but you can feel the symptoms of like when it would be kickstarted.
Yeah. Some
Okay.
cravings. That's when them cravings really kicking. Like,
Okay.
don't you want to go eat those Better Made chips in the cabinet? They're really good bag.
Okay. All right, Rose. So this is what you're gonna do. I gave you 4 sheets for the whole rest of this month. Okay. Best suggestion is just put this on your refrigerator. I've learned that it also works well with your relationship because when Lo sees it, like, oh, she hasn't been sleeping very good, or oh, she's super stressed. It kind of helps to know it's like, okay, but that explains a lot of things versus when you don't communicate that. So I learned that this is actually a really good tool for even your marriage.
Okay.
Pretty interesting. But overall, I'm using this more so to just track your recovery, which is super important, especially in a leaning out phase. Like if we're already going into this super stressed, our body's not going to give us what we want. So we want to make sure that we control this as much as possible. And like I said, sleep quality is a huge one too. That's a big factor of controlling our stress. Okay, so your job is to fill this in. Next week, you're going to bring this back, and then obviously I have expectations that you fill it in.
Okay.
Just put in the dates, or just put in the dates, or you can just start with today, and I can obviously assume what the next day is.
Right.
And then any notes that you have, you can just put it here or on the back of the sheet.
Okay.
Okay. This folder is yours, and like I said, these are your sheets.
Okay.
Any questions?
Mm-hmm.
No?